My best friend had a bit of a fight with her boyfriend. The next day, she found out she's pregnant. She decided to take off, based on advice from people online. Before she left, she asked me, "Mia, do you want to go with me?" I agreed. She ended up getting caught and brought back home, while I got confronted. "Why are you running? We didn't even have a fight." "Unless you're pregnant too." "Oh crap, I totally forgot I'm married." My friend Stella sneaked into my room, looking all secretive, and handed me a pregnancy test. "Mia, I'm pregnant." "That's great news. Why do you look so worried?" I said, guiding her to sit on the couch. Stella just gave a bitter laugh. "Jack was a jerk yesterday. He yelled at me over some ex. I can't take it anymore." I instinctively replied, "Exactly. If he can shout over an ex yesterday, who knows what's next? Maybe bringing someone else home tomorrow. He looks all nice, but actually." But Stella didn't seem like she was just venting. It looked like she was planning on leaving. "Stella, don't do anything rash. It's not worth it for a loser like him." Stella smirked. "You think I'm that kind of person? I came to ask if you'd go with me." "Go where?" "Who cares? Just somewhere fun," she said, pulling up an app on her phone, showing a video. It's a pregnancy test video titled, "Fighting with Husband. What to do after finding out you're pregnant." People online were chiming in. "Send him a photo of the test, and say the baby's gone because of the fight." "Yeah, say your husband's cold behavior chilled your heart, and that's why you lost the baby. Run away. I've read enough novels to know how this goes." Exactly, come back 5 years later with kids that look just like him, and make him regret it. Argue, puke, leave a test on the table, buy a ticket, and leave. He'll come looking for you like in those stories. This is good stuff, loads of stories like this to follow. Tweet it, block him, then post about going to a hospital only visible to him. Add a caption, "It's not that mom doesn't love you, just don't want you in a family lacking love." He would panic. Or, "Bad timing, no fate. Schedule an abortion, and use his number." Whoa, my life is turning into a novel. I said to myself, all this drama is like stacking power-ups, with fights, breakups, first loves, and pregnancies. After reading it all, I thought these people are way more creative. I swallowed hard, adrenaline rushing through me, and grabbed her hand quickly. "I'm going with you." Stella teared up. "I knew it, Mia, you're the only one I can trust." "What about Victor?" "Victor is my husband. He's so busy at work that I need to schedule time to even text him. Haven't seen him since the last time we saw each other." Wiping away non-existent tears, I said excitedly, "Who cares? By the time he hears, the baby will already be born." Stella and I are impulsive. We packed quickly, got tickets for the fastest outbound flight, and left openly. Everything's tracked back home, no point in hiding. As we were leaving, we bumped into Wendy, our housemaid. "Ma'am, what's this about? You're only young once." Stella and I left with our suitcases, leaving a bold impression. I quickly added, "Oh, and keep this quiet." Victor finally got time off, came home, and ran into Wendy with a packed suitcase. "Wendy, what's going on? Young now, senile later." "Pardon?" "I've taken leave. Gonna explore while I'm still young." "What about my wife? Where is she?" "Oh, she's the one who said it." Wendy glanced at her watch and hurried out with her suitcase. "Victor, gotta run, catch a flight." Leaving behind a bewildered Victor, who quickly called his assistant. "Find out where my wife went." Outside, it was getting dark, and inside, the lights were off. Jack walked in and saw Victor sitting there, smoking. The cigarette glowed against his reflective gold-rimmed glasses, kinda creepy. Jack jumped at first but then loosened his tie and slumped on the couch, nonchalant. "What's the deal?" Victor's voice was calm and steady. "I've got good news and bad news. Which one first? Good news, I guess. The good news is your wife ran off. Jack stood up, disbelief on his face. How's that good news? Are you nuts, Victor? Victor stayed expressionless. And the bad news? She took my wife with her. And I'm considering punching you. Jack stood perplexed for a moment, then quickly checked his phone for the date. It's not April Fool's Day. Victor exhaled a smoke ring. I got you a ticket for tonight. You better leave. What about you? Worry about yourself first. Heard from my assistant about Stella buying a pregnancy test. Jack looked joyful. My wife's pregnant. Your wife left you. You're nuts. Jack shouted back, stormed out. Stella studied in Contria before. Luckily, we got tickets there, so she decided that's where we're heading. Booked the best local hotel, slept in every day till I naturally woke up, got ready, put on makeup, and then hit up all the photo-worthy spots. Stella rested her chin on her hand, stirring her coffee with the other. Do you think it's weird that they haven't found us yet? No clue, I said, shaking my head. Suddenly something hit me. Oh right, send me that post. What do you need it for? Stella looked up, meeting my gaze. Within a second, we both shared a sly grin. As I scrolled through the post, I randomly asked, did you leave the pregnancy test on the table? Yep, right where he can't miss it. Some comments caught my eye. Post it on Twitter, block him, and mutual friends will congratulate him. Then you post that hospital pic on Twitter, just for him to see. Image captioned, not that mom doesn't love you, just don't want to bring you into a loveless home. He'd freak out. Or, not the right time, no fate in the end. Schedule a termination appointment at the hospital, using his number. I had a light bulb moment, showing her these comments. How about this? There's a hospital nearby. You put up a Twitter post for him alone. I'll edit one with my account about a hospital appointment, using his number. Great idea. You know your stuff, Stella paused. But I blocked him on Instagram, so he probably won't see it. Then make it visible just to his assistant. I suggested. Victor always brings his assistant, and so does Jack. Stella laughed. True, if Jack comes here looking for me, he's bringing his assistant. Following my guidance, Stella posted a Twitter visible only to the assistant. Not the right time, no fate in the end. Location, black-colored hearted hospital. I was stunned. No way. Is there really a black-hearted hospital? Stella explained, it used to be called Red Heart Hospital, but after the director misused power and made dirty money, locals started dubbing it black-hearted. Even after a big cleanup, the name stuck, so the new director officially renamed it. The hospital became famous, wealthy new backers hired skilled docs, and folks realized it wasn't shady, but top-notch. Now it's known for its name. Sounds kinda logical. Then I quickly edited a message. Dear Stella, this is Black-Colored Hearted Hospital. We would like to remind you that you have an appointment for an. Bad weather delayed Jack's flight to Country A, so he was a day late getting there. Upon landing, he finally sorted out his SIM card and hopped into the car his assistant brought. While waiting for Jack to give directions, the assistant casually opened Instagram and spotted a notification from Stella on Twitter, opening it on impulse. Stella, not the right time, no fate in the end. With a pic, a middle finger, with a hospital backdrop. Coordinates, Black-Colored Hearted Hospital. Assistant? Thinking he was seeing things, he double-checked Stella's profile, looking at past chats and confirmed it was Stella. He peeked at Jack worriedly. Sir, the missus is at the hospital. What hospital? Jack's face shifted instantly. Assistant swallowed nervously. Black-Hearted Hospital. What? Black-Hearted Hospital. Not joking here. Jack was fuming. I'm not lying. Really at Black-Hearted Hospital, the assistant said tearfully, handing over his phone. What hospital calls itself that? Jack checked the phone, seeing Stella's tweet. Anger flared at not seeing it sooner. Oh right, she blocked him. The hand in the pic was Stella's, slender, almond-shaped nails, a nude manicure, a ring on the ring finger. Recognizing the hand, Jack turned pale, reading Black-Hearted Hospital, clicking on the location link, over 20 miles away. Seeing Jack's face, the assistant smirked. Told you, didn't I? To the hospital, now. Jack ordered with a stern face, tossing back the phone. A notification pinged on his phone. Ready to swipe it as spam, he noticed it started with Stella. Swallowing hard, he cautiously opened it. His English was solid, so he quickly grasped the message. Black-Hearted Hospital, termination procedure? You gonna hit the gas or what? Waiting for the light. Jack rechecked the message. Appointment at 3 p.m., and it wasn't even 2 yet. Just enough time. Drive faster. I'll try. The smell of disinfectant was softened by the warm spring breeze. Stella and I wandered out of the hospital arm in arm, taking a casual stroll through the nearby park. The hospital was crowded, and Stella's prenatal checkup was scheduled for 3:30 p.m. I asked, "Do you hope the baby is a boy or a girl?" Stella thought about it for a moment, instinctively touching her belly. A girl, hopefully, just like me. The sunlight filtered through the plane tree leaves, dancing over her bright face. Her fox-like eyes bent into crescents, and the little mole at the corner of her eye trembled with her smile. Her wavy chestnut hair floated in the breeze. She seemed to glow. I confidently patted my chest, guaranteed. A mysterious look, my pride. Stella's personality was as vibrant and bold as her looks, while I had a pure appearance and a reserved nature, only being more outgoing around people I knew well. I studied science, she studied humanities. Though we seemed like we came from different worlds, we ended up being best friends. I've known Stella for over 10 years, longer than I've known Jack. We both married into the Liu family, becoming sisters-in-law, which I didn't see coming. But it's good, we are each other's support besides our parents. Suddenly, I felt a weight on my leg. A little girl was hugging my knee, sniffing, "Sister, I can't find my grandma." It was really a familiar child. Stella and I squatted down, smiling at her. "Do you remember your grandma's phone number?" The little girl's big black eyes roamed as she suddenly lowered her head to pull at her skirt, feeling a bit guilty. "No, but Grandma said if I ever lost her, should wait where I got lost." Stella and I shared a knowing look and sighed softly. "Then we'll wait here with you till your grandma comes to find you." Stella fished out a tissue and patiently wiped her tears and nose. "What's your name?" "Sister, I'm Carrie." "Carrie?" I muttered to myself, the name sounded familiar, but I couldn't place it. Just then, hurried footsteps and heavy breathing approached us. "Stella." We turned to see Jack stop a few steps away. His expression suddenly changed to one of shock and fear as he saw Stella holding the little girl's hand. "This. How is the kid so big already? How long was I gone?" He absent-mindedly checked his watch, murmuring, "This isn't right, I got here early, the procedure shouldn't have begun." Stella grabbed his ear and dragged him aside, impatiently saying, "Jack, don't scare the kid." I quietly pulled Carrie away, trying to blend in with the background. His assistant hurried over, enthusiastically greeting, "Miss Mia." I smiled and nodded, then glanced behind him, not seeing anyone else, so I couldn't help frown. "Only you two came?" The assistant paused, chuckled, and replied, "Yes, Victor's plans changed, he didn't come with us." My smile faded a bit, I quietly looked away. After a moment, they returned. Jack, looking smug, followed Stella like a puppy and shot me a glance. I snorted and glared back. Stella stood between us, helplessly saying, "All right, you two behave now, the prenatal checkup is about to start." Jack hurriedly chimed in, "I'll accompany my wife for the checkup, so I'll leave the kid here with you, sis-in-law." He ended with a satisfied look my way. Stella, looking both annoyed and gentle, said to me, "Mia, we're counting on you here." "Sure, just text me if you need anything." Jack protectively escorted Stella, and watching them, I couldn't help but feel a bit envious. The assistant stayed with me to wait for Carrie's grandma. Not long after, a fashionable woman rushed over. "Carrie." "Grandma." Carrie wriggled out of my grip, running into her arms. "Wendy." I took a closer look. "What's she doing here?" Wendy was equally surprised, wiping sweat from her brow. "Wow, ma'am, you're in country too." I nodded. "This is your granddaughter?" No wonder the name sounded familiar, must have heard Wendy mention it before. "Yes, she vanished just like that, good thing we found her again." I smiled. "What are you doing here?" "You know what they say, seize the day." Not getting any younger, so thought I'd make the most of it and travel while I can. My daughter-in-law isn't well, heard this hospital is great, so I brought her for a checkup. Wendy glanced at her phone, her expression changing. "Oh, ma'am, my daughter-in-law's still in the clinic, I better go. Call me if you need anything." "Go on, don't keep her waiting." Wendy hurried off with Carrie, who waved back at me. Soon, it was just me and the assistant. "Mia. Jack won't be done quickly, should I take you back to the hotel?" I gave him a lingering look. The assistant grew uncomfortable under my gaze. "If you don't mind." "It's no trouble at all." Back at the hotel, the front desk cheerfully informed me that my room was upgraded. Pleased, I gathered my things and headed to the new room. As the elevator ascended, an unsettling feeling crept over me. Was Jack talking bad about me behind my back? Don't be fooled by his goofy, brainless act, he's really shrewd. The elevator dinged. I swiped my card and entered the room. The moist cedar scent mingled with the air-conditioned breeze, the entire floor-to-ceiling window blocked by heavy curtains, turning the room into a sealed cage. The suitcase wheels thudded softly on the carpet, the sound magnified in the silence. Motion-activated lights flickered on, revealing a suited man with gold-rimmed glasses sitting on the sofa, watching me with a half-smile. Victor. What's he doing here? A chill ran through me. I instinctively turned to flee, but a calloused hand blocked my escape, trapping me between him and the door. Click. Pressing a button, he closed the door while pinning my hand. A deep voice, tinged with exasperation, reached my ear. "Ma'am, where do you think you're going this time?" I just remembered I left something behind. He chuckled softly, his calloused fingers gripping my wrist, his warm breath brushing against my neck. "Mind if I come along with you to get it?" "Nah, it's not urgent." I turned awkwardly, trying to push him but failed. What are you doing here?" "This place belongs to the company, you see." "What a coincidence." "Not really, I've been waiting for you for a while." I laughed awkwardly. He suddenly leaned closer, his expression curious. "I'm not mad at you, why are you avoiding me? Or are you pregnant too?" His gaze slowly drifted down to my slightly rounded belly. I stiffened, instinctively pulling my stomach in. "No, okay, since you noticed, I won't hide it." Victor squinted his eyes slightly and stared blankly at me, giving me the creeps. It's rare to see him like this. Usually, he wears a faint or indifferent smile, which makes him hard to read. Even on our wedding day, you couldn't tell how happy he really was, so I didn't dare laugh. Is he mad at me for leaving abruptly? I looked away, forcing a smile. Actually, it's a baby from having too many burgers, fries, and milk teas. He said, "Ma'am, shouldn't you explain why you left without a word?" I casually replied, "Well, even if I don't say, you still find out, don't you?" "That's different." Victor's gaze darkened, his grip on my wrist tightening. Just when I thought he'd do something, he let go, like he was restraining himself. "I can't always guarantee that I'll find you instantly. Plus, I worry about you." "Sorry." I was about to say something else, but he stepped back and coolly said, "As a compensation, accompany me to a party tonight." I paused, nodding softly, "All right." There was a gift box prepared on the sofa for me already, and as I walked over, Victor received a call and stepped out. I opened the box, and the dress was exactly my style. A faint sense of disappointment lingered, I thought he'd be angrier, not this cool and composed. After changing, I found him waiting downstairs for a while. When we got out of the car, he lifted his arms slightly, hinting that I should take it. No need to be nervous, it's all Chinese folks, there'll be an auction later. I nodded. I rarely accompany him to such events because I don't like socializing, and big crowds make me anxious. As we walked through the hallway, the servers were all Chinese, speaking standard Mandarin, which eased me a bit. Victor was soon surrounded by a few well-dressed men, giving me a chance to slip away. The castle was very vintage and glamorous, perfect for photos. I strolled leisurely, chatting with Stella, taking a few pictures to send her way. Suddenly, I heard a mocking laugh behind me. Didn't you know you can't take photos here? A woman in a red dress looked at me smugly, flanked by several women roughly her age. Becky? I put my phone away, not expecting to run into her here. We've been arch enemies since high school. After graduation, I hadn't seen her. She laughed quietly and said, "This party's invite isn't easy to come by, but I heard you've been unemployed since graduation, married rich, huh? That doesn't seem like you." Her tone was full of schadenfreude, flicking her hand to show off the diamond ring. I noticed it, and she proudly added, "It's just a month's salary." Me, well, good for you. I suddenly remembered why we were never on good terms. I've always been low-key, never revealing family status or attending many events, so few knew I was from an influential family. But my best friends Stella and pal David were different. Stella, always flamboyant, was decked in seasonal styles, and David never hid his background. People quickly pieced together their well-to-do backgrounds. Pretty, rich, and talented, they naturally became the stars of the school. I got some of that spotlight by association. Becky had issues, always saying people should stick to their own circles. She assumed I was leeching off Stella and David, thinking me a spineless social climber. Me. As for why I don't work, I literally have more money than I need, so why bother? I covered my mouth and took a step back, speaking earnestly. Becky, for the sake of our high school ties, I've told you many times, after eating in the restroom, you should wipe your mouth and rinse, otherwise, yikes, it's pungent over here. Becky didn't get it initially, but when she did, her face flushed red. You. Rude. Trying to keep up her graceful facade in front of her friends, she could only mumble a few words. The women behind her awkwardly smiled, stepping back a bit too. I watched Becky's artfully drawn eyebrows twist in anger, smiling with satisfaction. I'm in a bad mood today, don't test me, or we'll see if that pretty face of yours gets a little swollen. Becky instinctively covered her face, my smile widening as I slowly walked to the ballroom. Back in high school, she couldn't best me with words or fists, so why still provoke me? This must be some eternal frenemy dynamic. Victor made his way through the crowd, noticing the smile on my face. What interesting thing did you come across? Ran into an old acquaintance, exchanged some pleasantries. His eyes flickered, and he said softly, "The auction's starting, let's head in." The auction room was circular with a massive crystal chandelier hanging from the center. I had just settled beside Victor when I noticed Becky clinging to a handsome man walking in. Seeing Victor next to me, her eyes widened in shock. I smiled to myself, her reaction was truly amusing. Becky shot me a glare and turned away. The auction started, and I got bored, staring at the chandelier absent-mindedly. It wasn't until they unveiled the red velvet curtain for the final item that a blue sapphire necklace suddenly caught the spotlight's icy gleam. The perfectly cut blue gems, surrounded by 12 small diamonds, reminded me of the heroine's amulet from my favorite novel. I've been obsessed with that book recently, so I started looking everywhere for a similar sapphire necklace. I found sapphire necklaces, but none matched the style and vibe. Either they weren't for sale, or they were bought anonymously. As the bidding began, I was about to say something, but the person next to me already raised their paddle. Others were interested in the necklace, too, joining in the bidding war. The price kept rising and it was way higher than its original value. Not worth it anymore, I thought. I tugged on Victor's sleeve, signaling him to stop, but he nodded and doubled the bid. No one dared challenge him after that. In the end, I got the necklace I wanted, its cold metal and gemstones pressed against my palm, scattering light as it moved. My clear thoughts suddenly jumbled, and I instinctively looked at the man beside me. I hadn't told Victor about my search for the necklace, nor did I plan to. Noticing my gaze, Victor turned to me and asked, "Don't like it?" "No, I love it," I shook my head. "How did you know?" "Jack mentioned it," he said, swallowing hard and turning away. The seller wouldn't sell directly, only through auction. I understood then why he brought me here. "Thanks for that," I said. "Yeah." On our way back, the chilly night wind hit us, and I impulsively linked my arm with his. He stiffened for a moment but then slowed his pace. As we were about to get in the car, Becky suddenly appeared and grabbed my arm. "Sandy, I need to tell you something," she said. I looked down at her grip on my wrist, my expression darkening. Becky immediately let go and stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You have no idea about this secret. Just say it." I rubbed my wrist and caught a glimpse of Victor, leaning against the car door, his black suit blending into the night. Becky glanced at him nervously, and I nudged him toward the car. "You go on ahead." Away from others, Becky wore a complex expression. "You actually married Victor. So what? What's your point?" She smirked meaningfully. "I bet you didn't know, Victor has been secretly in love with someone for years." I was shocked. I thought she had some earth-shattering news, but this is it. Seeing my disdainful look, Becky got anxious. "What? You don't believe me?" "Why wouldn't I?" "Of course, I believe you." Becky bit her lip, whispering, "I only know he wrote a love letter but never sent it. I think he found out the person liked someone else, so the letter stayed hidden in a book." "How do you know when no one else does? Are you a mind reader or something?" "I accidentally saw it. It just said, 'I like you.' It must be a love letter." Victor was famous in high school but never had any rumors or relationships. Lots of girls confessed to him, and he was indifferent. Quiet and deep like a piece of wood, focused only on studying. Many speculated he liked guys. So some guys did confess to him, only to be scared off when Victor dealt with them. "Oh, so you stopped me just to say he had a secret crush back in high school?" Her smile froze as she suddenly grabbed my wrist again. "Do you have any idea how tough life in high society is? What if one day his crush shows up, and you're head over heels for him, ending up like a melodramatic love triangle from a novel?" Becky shivered. "Playing out some cheesy love triangle. Plus, you don't have a job. What if he tires of you and kicks you out? You'd end up on the street." She watched me, satisfied, as if to say, "I'm right, right?" "Hold it," I pulled back my hand. "The first thing you need to do is delete those romance apps from your phone. Even if someone shows up, I won't end like that." "You don't believe me?" "I'm just trying to help. Since we ended up in the same class, Becky's never liked me, always trying to compete. Who could put up with that? So I joined every competition and activity she did, just to beat her. Didn't need first place, just wanted to be one spot ahead. It annoyed her so much that she became snide, but I couldn't help retaliating. She got so angry and learned martial arts, but I picked it up too. Ultimately, she couldn't beat me. By chance, I scored 1 point higher on our final exams than she did. Becky went crazy, choosing a college up north, swearing never to see me again. And now she's acting all concerned while being snide with me just now. "Becky, you've lost again." "What? Where did I lose?" "I quit those brainless romance novels ages ago. I'm into stories where badass women save the world now. Only losers read trashy romance novels." Furious, Becky shouted, "Sandy, this isn't over." Footsteps approached, and Becky's partner ran over, giving me an apologetic smile. I got back in the car, the smell of fragrance mixed with cedar filling the air. I couldn't help glancing at Victor again, recalling what Becky said. Victor squirmed under my gaze. "Is there something on my face?" No, I was just thinking you look good. The thrill of winning the necklace dimmed a bit. I turned away, shutting my eyes to rest. Victor frowned but stayed silent. Back at the hotel, while Victor was in the shower, I went to find Stella to tell her everything that had happened. Stella caught a glimpse of the sapphire necklace, picked it up with her fingertips, and squinted at it. This one does look a lot like the style you were looking for before, huh? I absent-mindedly responded. Stella sighed and put the necklace around my neck. If you're suspicious about what Becky said, maybe you should find proof. That love letter might still be tucked away in a book. Aren't you trying to be brave and free-spirited like Luo Yao? You've got your main charm on, so when are you going to be brave and free? Gotta admit, it does look pretty nice. My life's been too dull. I long for that kind of epic roller coaster life of a novel's main character. That's why I sought out this sapphire necklace, hoping someday I could be as brave, confident, and free as she was. You're right. If he really has some first love, and it doesn't work out, worst case, just get a divorce. I can shake it off. Frogs with 3 legs are hard to find, but 2-legged men are everywhere, aren't they? Stella nodded approvingly. By the way, what's up with the Cold War with Jack before? Thinking about it gets me riled up. He lost in some game with others and then told me about a first love, even shared a picture with her. Finished speaking, she pulled out a photo. Jack's being hugged by some woman. Jack looks nice enough, but she seems overly beautified. Looks kinda fake. What's up with his taste? That woman is actually a man. Stella gritted her teeth as she spoke. A blend of beauty filters and AI effects. I asked who she was, but he wouldn't tell me, and he even said she's more attractive than me. Who could stand that? I'm all natural. I stayed silent for a bit, then took her hand, saying seriously, don't let him off the hook. Got it, wait and see. Once I learn it, I'll Photoshop 100 handsome guys with broad shoulders and a narrow waist for you. No need for that. Back home, things went back to normal. Jack was being all guarded, so I sweet-talked Victor, and Jack was too busy to bother me. I had just sent Stella off when I saw my assistant rushing toward me. Ma'am, the boss asked me to get a file. He wiped sweat off his forehead. It's in the 3rd drawer of the study. If you could please. All right. I didn't go to Victor's study often, but everything was organized clearly. I quickly found the file the assistant talked about. It was neatly placed in a manila folder. But there was a transparent pouch mixed in, with a pink and a white envelope inside. The edges of both envelopes had yellowed, especially the white one. It looked older. I suddenly remembered that letter Becky mentioned. But the pink one looked all too familiar, and a bad feeling washed over me. Hands trembling, I pulled out the letter. The flowery script stretched like spring vines, elegant and gentle, with grace in every word. The handwriting was so familiar, even without names mentioned, I knew who wrote it. Why was the love letter I'd been searching for in Victor's study? Taking a deep breath, I calmed down, went downstairs, and handed the file to the assistant. As he took it, his hesitation was clear. Ma'am, are you okay? Noticing my face was a bit off, I forced a smile. I'm fine, better hurry and deliver this. The assistant nodded, looking rather complicated as he left. The pink envelope burned in my palm, the jasmine scent mixed with old ink triggering memories of a rainy season years ago. Back in college, my lab senior, Cindy, always looked out for me. In return, I'd often bring her tea and cake, sometimes we'd eat out together. We got pretty close over time. She was kind and wrote beautifully with flowery script, always lovely. Later, my friend David would occasionally visit the lab and met Cindy. One sunny afternoon, Cindy handed me a pale pink envelope, blushing. Sandy, could you pass this to David? I agreed with a laugh. But it unexpectedly rained after class. I huddled with my backpack under a ledge, looking for someone to give me a ride. Victor, holding a black umbrella, came out of the revolving door, paused when he saw me, and walked over. Want to walk together? Because our families knew each other, We were acquainted but not close. I didn't refuse, contemplating how to hand over the love letter to David and perhaps con him a little. After all, the way he looked at Cindy wasn't exactly innocent. Lost in thought, I slipped on some moss, nearly fell forward, but Victor caught me just in time. Did he take the letter then? Hard to picture someone so composed doing that. I couldn't imagine. Embarrassed from almost falling, I didn't pay attention to anything else. Back home, I realized the letter in my bag was gone. If he did take it, which seems to be the case, since it's in his study now, what for? Could he have a crush on Cindy? But they didn't interact at all. Did he think it was from me? I couldn't come up with a better explanation. Though Cindy and I both wrote in script, hers was like engraved artwork, mine was loose and connected. Confused, I spotted the much older envelope and opened it on impulse. I quickly shut the letter, taking deep breaths to cool down my blushing cheeks. There was a soft sound at the entrance. Victor's hand hovered on the doorknob. The assistant mentioned you had an off mood after visiting the study. He pushed the door open, the damp rain in the air wrapped in darkness. He came closer and found me spacing out on the couch. Sandy? Yeah. Why didn't you turn the lights on? He flipped the switch, and as the room lit up, the pink envelope on the coffee table made his pupils shrink. I looked at him with a half smile, my fingers tapping the envelope. Victor, care to explain yourself? Why is my senior's love letter with you? Your senior? Victor frowned, his expression suddenly changed. Didn't you write this? This was something my senior asked me to pass on to David. He adjusted his tie, Adam's apple moving uneasily. This little gesture, in my eyes, was like a cat with its tail stepped on. When the letter went missing, I searched the car thoroughly, even went back to school several times, but found nothing. It was rare for my senior to ask for my help, and I ended up losing her love letter. With gritted teeth, I then turned to David. After lots of hinting, he finally confessed to liking my senior, and after my relentless nonsense, he went ahead and confessed. Watching them smile at each other, I finally breathed a sigh of relief and stepped away quietly. Victor listened, unusually quiet. So, what's the deal? Sorry. Victor turned away, a rare panic in his eyes. I thought you wrote it for David. David? Why would I write him a letter? I grabbed his tie, pulling him forward. You didn't think I liked him, did you? His eyelashes fluttered, a low grunt escaped his throat, but he stubbornly nodded. You've known each other since childhood. So the past 2 years of marriage, you kept your distance because you thought I liked David? I was so mad I laughed, my grip on his tie tightened. Is it like when Jack does business, he just stays silent and waits for the other person to guess? When he didn't respond, I stood up to leave. Victor instinctively grabbed me. Mia, I'm sorry. I didn't ask you directly and instead assumed things. And on our wedding day, you seemed unhappy. Me? Wow, blame it on me. You had such a long face on the wedding day, how was I supposed to laugh? So it was because of me? Victor looked dazed. Why didn't you just ask me? I was afraid you'd hate me. If I liked David, would never have married you. Honestly, even though it was a business marriage to the Liu family, I was a little excited to marry Victor. But since he was cold with me, I eventually stopped having any romantic thoughts. Victor's eyes brightened as if he wanted to say something. Just then, a yellowed white envelope dropped to the floor. Suddenly, it was very quiet. I was about to pick it up. But Victor beat me to it. He picked up the envelope, surprised. Did you read it? I just glanced at it, and I didn't mean to, it's just. His fingers pinched the envelope. Suddenly he walked towards me with an intense, expressionless face. I instinctively stepped back. He pulled me by the wrist, and I stumbled into his arms. Well, since you read it, I won't pretend anymore. The yellowed envelope clattered to the ground. He grabbed my face and kissed me hard. Victor's kiss was fierce and urgent. Like he was venting about that hotel day. giving me the feeling of unlocking a seal. I was breathless, tapping him on the shoulder before he eased up, turning the kiss gentle and careful. My lips tingled, and I laughed angrily. Why'd you suddenly kiss me? Embarrassed I saw your love letter? I just wanted to kiss you. Really? I sneered, staring at his blushing ears. Your body's more honest than you. Victor stiffened, then chuckled lowly. You're right, ma'am. My body is always honest. Hold up, this sounds like we're getting on a roller coaster. That night, he whispered every word from the love letter into my ear. Enough, stop reading. I seriously doubt he wrote this in high school. How could a high schooler write something so risque? Yet, in my drowsy state, I couldn't figure out what was wrong. Victor was right, his body was very honest, though maybe too honest sometimes. The next morning, I found an old-looking card on the nightstand. On it, only a few words, slightly childish handwriting but written earnestly. I like you, Stella. The envelope dropped a little note, like a draft paper, the handwriting messy. Yet it was clear. Can you stop talking to David? I laughed out loud. How childish. That love letter, now that's what Victor should have written in high school. Wait. Why did he put those 2 letters in a transparent sleeve that didn't match the other documents? He knew I'd see them while sorting files. Seems like I'd been played.